screen. Okay. Share screen. Okay, so all of you can see it, right? Can all of you see it?
Yes, yes, I can see.
Okay, Sylvia also. Okay, so law of solid ground is all about one thing. It's about the trust. Because Aman, we talk about different kind of leadership skills, right? And this is the one and only one skills that will form your foundation of leadership. Without this one, you'll never be called a leader. Even though you have a caring manner, you add value to people, you make influence to people, you really very good business result. But without this thing, you will never be able to be called a leader, and you will have no followers. And that's the importance of this. That is trust. Okay, so trust is the foundation of leadership. Without it, you will never have any followers. Okay, so why is it so important? Because it's the glue that holds an organization together. I'm not sure if you have ever worked in a company who don't really care about trust. Do you hire people who are not trustworthy? They would do any dishonest acts and the company just let them do it? Or you will really care about the trust level of the employees? Say, for example, in the HR department, when you recruit new people, do you do reference checking? Meaning that we'll check on the things that he wrote on the application form. Say, for example, Hong Kong, China, even Singapore, a lot of countries, when a new candidate applies for a job, they will need to they need to fill an application form, right? So, and also they will also send you the CV showing their education level, the experience, and even their salary expectation. So a lot of times we expect that all the information stated there is true and up to date. So when you're about to hire them, you will conduct a reference checking, meaning that you need to call or write to their previous employers, asking them to confirm if this person has ever worked in their company before, and this is their last salary. Okay, so it's very common for us to do in Hong Kong, even in China or Singapore. I think it would also be the same for Vietnam or Indonesia, because this is the way that we prove that what is stated in the CV or resume or in the application letter by the candidate is right? So, and again, because we want to prove that this person is trustworthy. So when we find out that this person, what is stated in this CV or in the application form by this candidate is wrong, is not real, what will you do? Have you ever come across with this situation? Lynn or Sylvia, have you ever come across with that?
Yes.
Yeah, so what will you do?
I will ask to clarify with the candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And then after get their explanation,
Mm-hmm.
it's depend on their answer, yeah. If the
Yes.
answer also they give some explanation that makes sense for me and we can accept, it's okay for me. But if he or she just say some things, but I don't understand what their explanation, I know he or she hidden some information, I will decide not continue the process.
So yeah, I think it applies to other companies as well. Applies to the companies that I worked for before. So it implies that we think that trust is very important. If somebody reported something which is not real, and we don't trust him anymore, so we won't welcome him to work for the company anymore, right? So it implies that it's very important for us to see the importance of trust. And trust is the foundation of leadership. Without it, you will never have any followers. Nobody would like to follow a leader who is not trustworthy. Okay, so this is what we call as the foundation. Okay, so you can see that, right? You can see this slide, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, let me see. Okay, Zoom. Okay, let me share it again. Okay, share. Okay, so now you can see the slide, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see that it's very important to have trust. Okay, if your employees, if your staff does not trust you, even though you have a caring manner, you really care about them, do you think they will really real you a leader? Do they still like you? Probably not, right? So it's very important that we cannot, once we have made some mistakes, okay, in our trust level, we cannot repeatedly break trust with people and continue to influence them. It won't happen. So have you ever come across with leaders who have broken their trust? And if that's the case, what did they do? Have you ever come across with that? Sylvia or Lynn, have you ever come across with such example that you come across with a leader who somehow made a dishonest ad, and what does he or she do? Lynn, anything to share about this?
Rita, so you mean that that the person, so I'm not quite clear your question.
Okay,
So
so have you met with any leaders or GM or managers in your company who has broken trust with people? That means he has done something showing that he's not trustworthy to the company. Have you handled this case before?
yep. So yeah, so I think that have so there is one our supply chain manager. So he is so I think that is because of the nature of work or not, but because so he didn't gain their staff trust because their staff finding out or may know something about his in terms of we are talking about integrity. Yeah, so he taking some commission or the money from the supplier, and yeah, and the staff they know that they know that, but they whether they follow him or not. So I'm not sure for that, but they know, and maybe inside they they don't trust, and they think something bad about that person, but they dare to talk outside. Yeah, and they just like talk to the other colleagues, and by chance, so I know that one.
So in the end, what was the consequence? What was the result?
Yeah, so in the end, our CEO know that. So yeah, I'm not sure if his staff told that to her or not, but at the end, so our CEO know that, and she called me to talk about how to fire that person. Yeah.
I see, I see. Okay, yeah, I also came across with such cases before in my previous companies. And in the end, the person was asked to go as well. So that for that person, he or she had to face the external pressure, right? But at the same
Yeah.
time, internally, he or she will also be struggling on why did I do it and so forth. So that I think that person was not having a good time too. So that's why we can see the importance of trust. So trust is like change, the coins in a leader's pocket. Okay, so all leaders have a certain amount of coins of change in their pocket when they start as a new leader. Okay, because as a start, you're now a new leader, right? I'm your subordinate. Okay, I don't have any reason not to trust you. Okay, so I have a lot of coins in my pocket. Okay, so every time I make good decisions, okay, so I'll earn more coins. I'll put more coins in my pocket. However, if I make any bad decisions, I'll started to take coins out of my pocket. Meaning that if I make any mistakes or if I make any not trusted decisions, then I started to lose my coin from my pocket. So in the end, I'm out of change, meaning that I'm out of coins. Nobody trusts me and I'm no longer a leader. So that's very important that a lot of the leaders will think that they can make shortcuts when they come to decisions. Let me give you an example, okay? But no shortcuts. As a leader, we need to be very transparent and clear, especially when it comes to some decisions, which have conflict of interest with himself in particular. Say, for example, um, there is a case in a human resources department. You know we hire a lot of people, we hire people every day, right? So sometimes if the candidate is somehow your friend, your ex-colleague, or your relatives, but you think he or she is capable for the position, for that job opening, and you think that person is the best among all the candidates that you have, what will you do as a human resources manager? And that person will be working for you, okay? Because say, for example, you are recruiting a human resources officer, and you know that your ex-colleague is very good in this position, or your sibling or your relatives, your friend is very good for this position. I think it happens in a lot of time, right? What will you do? In order not give the people an impression that you are impartial, you are fair. You hire that person not because you know him, you know her, and he or she has a special relationship with you. You hire that person just because he's capable, he's the best person for that position. So when it comes to that kind of decisions, like me, I will ask the person to go through the proper procedure for recruitment. Say, for example, the first interviewee would be, say, for example, your assistant manager. Okay, I'll ask my assistant manager to interview him or her first. Okay, and then after that, if your assistant manager also feels that he, say for is a man, okay, he is the right person, then your assistant manager will recommend you, right? So you also have to go through the proper recruitment procedure. Of course, maybe you will make the interview short and so forth, but at least your assistant manager is in support of your recommendation. And then you don't have to tell other people in your office, in your department. The assistant manager will tell it, maybe not intentionally, but the rest of the department will know it because you have followed the proper procedure of the company. You just did not take the shortcut by just asking somebody to work in the company and then ask him to report for duty the following day without going through the proper procedure of interviewing by a number of people and so on and so on. So that's why we cannot take shortcuts, especially when situation whereby there might be conflict of interest in ourselves. Therefore, in this case, if we don't handle it properly, what would the people say? They will say that, oh, this this human HR officer was hired because he knows Sylvia, and Sylvia must have a great favoritism on this person. So when this person is on board, has started working for us, do you think this person can really make good friends within the department? Probably not. People will think that, oh, Sylvia, he's a good friend of Sylvia, so we better not to tell him a lot of things because of the close relationship between Sylvia and this human resources officer, right? People will start saying something, imagine something because of the shortcuts that we have done. Therefore, we need to go through the proper procedure, in particular for this kind of sensitive situation. In particular, when it involves money. Say, for example, we want to purchase something which is very expensive, not very expensive. We need to do some purchase for the company. We need to go through the proper procedure by getting 3 quotes from the different vendors instead of just going to your favorite vendor for 1 quote and then make a decision. Because you're the manager of the department, you can make the decision to purchase it. It seems that it's right? You are very efficient. But what do the people in your department say? Wow, there may be something wrong. There must be an internal dealing, some secret dealing between you and that vendor because of the shortcuts that we have made. So that's why it's very important that we go through the proper procedure so that people will not say anything, because you have shown to them that you are very transparent, you are fair. So image is very, very important. Your trust by the people is very important. Otherwise, you lose your change, you lose your coins. But on the contrary, you should get more coins for you inside your pocket, right? So that's the way. That's why we say that no shortcuts. Make sure you do it in a very transparent way. Make sure that you follow the company procedure, the proper procedure. Even you do it now or in future, you just follow the proper one. Okay? So this is very, very important. So Lynn has shared with us the example of leaders breaking their trust. I would like to share with you one very typical example, which is known by all the people in Hong Kong about breaking trust. In this slide, you can see the picture, right? Or the image of 2 people. The lady is Hillary Clinton, and next to her is the Donald Zhang. I'm not sure, he's not famous. I'm sure I think he's not as famous as he is in Hong Kong. So this guy, Donald Zhang, was the chief representative of Hong Kong government in Hong Kong. And he reported directly to the government in China. So he was the top guy overseeing everything for Hong Kong, okay? And he had been in this position for 10 years. And at the end of his time in this position, the media, like newspaper, disclosed that he received some advantages from one of the property developer in China. That developer actually offered him a very luxurious house in China at a very low rent. And then subsequently, the media also found out that he gave this property developer some special advantage. So everything was disclosed on the news. And in Hong Kong, there is a department which report directly to the chief representative. And then actually, so this department had to do an investigation on him. You know, in Hong Kong, no matter what rank you are at, whether you are rich people, you are a tycoon, you are a top government official, or you are just people in general people in public, wherever you have done anything wrong in breach of the law, you will be prosecuted. So subsequently, you find out that they have all the evidence, and this guy was put in the jail for a few years. And recently, he has completed his jail period and he was released from the prison. Okay, and he was able to regain his freedom. So somehow he had to pay for his price. But for all the Hong Kong people, we don't trust him anymore because he just lost his trust. It's very, very difficult to regain the trust of the people, especially when somebody has made a very serious mistake. Okay, so now we talk about, okay, so if somebody really, really break his trust, what if somebody break his trust? What would that leader do in order to rectify the situation? If you were the one who break the trust, what would you do? Like Sylvia, what would you do if you really break the trust? And what would you do to rectify the situation, to correct the situation? What would you do, Sylvia? Sylvia, would you like to share?
No idea.
Okay, okay. How about Lynn? Because Sylvia, you are so trustworthy, you have never broken any trust, right? Okay, okay, okay. So Lynn, what would you do if you really, or you come across with someone who has broken the trust, and what did this person do?
Yep. For myself, I think that the first, so when I lose the trust, that means I do something wrong with my people. So I think that the first I need to admit my fault with that person and say sorry. That is the first, and the second one that I will try to do something for the first step to let them know that I have intentionally to do something to correct my mistake and regain their trust.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think that so to gain people trust, we need more time, and we need to prove that day by day. So I will continue to do that until the person have like different thinking about me.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But you know, yeah, exactly. We have to apologize to our people, say sorry to our people. There are three words in the world which are very difficult to be spoken by people. And these three words are, I am sorry. How many people are brave enough to say that I'm sorry that I've done this wrong? A lot of people will make some excuses. Say, for
Yep.
example, we would tell your staff that, oh, Mary, you made a mistake in this project. Mary will immediately say, oh, no. Hey, it's not really the case. And Mary will say something to justify herself. And this is the human reaction,
Yep.
natural human reaction. So people will try to make a lot of excuses or try to say that, oh, it's not really the case, and then make a lot of explanation. But in the end, it's not really the real explanation because people don't like other people think that they are wrong. Because I think it's because our education system. They like the education system in Hong Kong, China, or even in Singapore, we don't allow mistakes. You know, in your company, do you allow mistakes? Are you open to mistakes? A
Yes.
lot. Okay, that is good. That is very good. But in a lot of companies, like the companies that I work for, typically company in China, the boss is very authoritative, meaning that he's in control of everything. He has a high demand on the quality of the people. So he doesn't allow mistakes. You have to do it right at the first time. A lot of American companies will tell their staff that this is also their slogan. Do it right at the first time. Do it right at the first time. Do it right at the first time. So this is how they tell the staff that is true. But if they make mistakes, will you allow them to make mistakes? If a company do not allow their people to make mistakes, then the company will not be able to have any creative or innovative people. Will not be able to develop any innovative staff, because staff are so scared of making mistakes. Would they be innovative enough to tell you that, okay, let me try this method, let me try another method in order to make it work? No. So that's why I think the other day we talked about productivity and creativity, right? Can we have productivity but at the same time have creativity? Some people say no. I tend to agree no, because if you want me to produce at the top level, to produce as much as I can in one day, that means I need to follow the current way of doing it, right? Then that means I will not have the time to think of doing it in a different way. Because if I think of doing it in a different ways, I may generate mistakes, because I'm just doing try and error. So I may generate mistakes. So if that's the case, then my productivity will be low, because I need to try to do something new, to do something in a different way. So that's why if you want to maintain productivity, that means you are not focusing on creativity at the same time. So that's why a lot of companies, if they all want to talk about productivity, then they may not be able to achieve innovation from their staff. Okay, so I think it's a very good subject to debate, but I truly believe that is true. Yeah, so, but it's very good that if a company allows staff to make mistakes, it's good. But of course, we have to learn from mistakes, right? We cannot repeat the same mistake again and again, right? Otherwise, then the quality of the work will be very low in the company. We allow them to make mistakes, but learn from the mistakes and then make it better next time. That should be the right way of doing it. So, how do we build our trust? Okay, some people will say that you can see the slide, right? So some people will say that, okay, we can show that we are trustworthy by telling them that we have the ability, we have the competence, 3 C's. We have the ability, we can connect with them, and at the same time we have the character to be a trustworthy person. But among these 3 C's, do you think which one is better? Which one is much powerful for us to build a trustworthy personality? Which one is more powerful if we want to build trust? 3 C's? Yes, Lynn?
Yeah, so for myself, I think that competence is the more important.
I see. Okay. So, and then for John Maxwell, he has different views. He thinks that people will forgive occasional mistakes based on your ability, especially when they can see that you are still growing as a leader. Because you are not experienced enough, you make mistakes. No problem. Okay? And then they will still forgive you, if I use the word forgive. And they will give you some time to connect with them because you are still new as a leader. But they won't trust someone if that person has that kind of personality or character. As we know that, right? Changing one's character is not easy, but it's possible, but it's not easy. That person needs to be intentional, as we discussed it at the beginning of the session, as Lynn mentioned. That's why character is the most important thing, which to help us to build trust. So this guy, General Norman, ever mentioned that leadership is important combination of strategy and character. But if we must be without one. Then be with strategy. Be with strategy. Be without one. Be with strategy. I think there is a typo here. Should be without strategy. Sorry. That means we need to have character. Character is the main thing of leadership, because what we have done is a illustration of our character. Okay, so character and leadership, credibility always go hand in hand. And then another guy who is the former president of U.S. Business Industrial Council, he ever mentioned that the role of character always has been the key factor in the rise and fall of nations. They'll rather select someone who has the right character to be the leader, rather than someone who's just smarter than anybody, but they don't have a strong character of being a leader. Because character makes trust possible, and trust makes leadership possible. Okay? And if we really want to develop our character, John Maxwell mentioned that, okay, as Lynn mentioned, right? How do we develop our character? Then John Maxwell mentioned that if we want to develop a character to be a great leader, focus on these three areas. Then you probably will be on the road of good leader. The third thing is integrity. That is to be a trustworthy person. I'm honest, okay? How to develop myself to be honest, to be of integrity. Then, okay, make commitment to myself to be super honest. I tell myself that I am an honest person. I don't shake any truth. I will not turn any truth into not truth. That means I speak something real. Don't tell white lies, okay? That means I don't tell lies, and I don't make up figures. I just show what is real. And be truthful even when it hurts. That means I always tell the truth. Tell you an example, okay? In one of the occasions, one of my staff told me that, oh, Rita, actually the cleaner, because at that time we hired a cleaner on a part-time basis. So as a cleaner, the office cleaner, she's not entitled to medical scheme, okay? But the cleaner has done very, very well. That's why we wanted to give her this medical scheme, the medical cover, so that it will be one of the benefits for her as a motivation. But we also knew that the boss did not like it. The boss just did not like any cleaning staff. So my staff just told me that, oh, Rita, can we just, because you are the head of this department, you just offer this benefit to her. Nobody will know it. The boss will not know it. When the boss knew it, just told him that, oh, this is the normal benefits for all kinds of staff, including part-time staff. Okay, so at that time, I just thought that because that cleaner really did a good job. So I just thought that, oh, no problem. Okay, so just give her this one. And when the boss asks, I would tell him this and that, okay? Make us some excuse. Then a few hours later, I had a second thought. Why would I do it? This is not right. This is against the policy. And I'm just using my authority to abuse it. So I just thought that no matter whether the boss will change his mind or not, I still tell this, I would report it to the boss that, okay, this is the reason why we wanted this cleaner to have this kind of benefit and so forth. When I was thinking of doing it, my staff already told me that, Rita, no. The cleaner's contract has clearly specified that she's not eligible. So the boss will certainly say no. And so my staff suggests that, okay, we give her something else instead. Okay. So that's why after talking to my staff, She also recommend me not to offer the staff benefits, the medical benefits to the cleaner. And I think it's okay. And if we really want to do it, I want to go through the proper channel. I don't want to use my authority to abuse it. And then eventually, I did not feel good. And then when the boss find out, he will not trust me anymore. Even though I do it for other people, not for my own benefits, but because of these incidents. That's why I need to make a commitment to myself. So how do we develop this quality in our character of being a honest person, a person of integrity, is to make commitment to ourselves, to be super honest. Don't tell lies. If anything comes to you, which will be against the policy, just get special approval from your boss. Don't hire from your boss because you want to show to your boss and also your people that you are a trustworthy person. People see what people do. You think they don't know because you have just done it secretly, but there's no secret in the world. Even yourself will not feel good if you have done something which is not in line with the policy. That's why when we develop our character, 3 areas. The first area, which is also the foundation of leadership, is integrity. Okay, we need to be an honest person. This is the foundation. And secondly, John Maxwell mentioned that if we want to develop our character, work on your authenticity, meaning that be yourself. You don't have to act like another person. Be yourself with everyone. Don't play politics. You don't need to pretend to be anything you are not. Be yourself. Okay. And thirdly, would be very important thing. If we want to develop our character, is to have discipline. We need to be a disciplined person. That means we need to establish this kind of habit. Say, how do we develop ourselves to be a disciplined person? We need to do the right thing every day. Say, for example, there is a very good book called The Miracle Morning. It tells us 5 to 6 things that we do in the morning that will change our lives. So if we can do it continuously, then we will become a very disciplined person. Okay, so we just do the right thing every day, regardless how we feel. A lot of people will base on their feelings to do things. Say, for example, today I don't feel good, so I won't do this. But some people will not be influenced by their feelings. No matter if they feel good or feel bad, they think this is the right thing for them to do. They just do it because they are a disciplined person. All the successful people are very disciplined. They are very good habits. Okay, so remember that if we want to build our character, focus in 3 areas first. Okay, and these 3 areas are very important, and we can make us different. We make us different and be a better person. Third thing is integrity. Second thing is authenticity. That means be ourselves. We don't have to act like another person. We want to be a real person. Thirdly, be a disciplined person. Okay? So once we are able to develop a very good character, our character communicates 3 things. Consistent in character. What does that mean? Meaning that, okay, I'll give you an example about Jack Ma, because I listen to his tape, to his YouTube every morning, because I just find he's a very great leader. He mentioned that Jack Ma is the founder of Alibaba, the e-commerce platform, right? I think both of you have heard of Alibaba, right? Have you heard of Alibaba?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so Jack Ma's story is that, what does that mean in consistency in character here? It means that, like Jack Ma, when he graduated from his teaching college, the principal of that college just told Jack, can you teach in our school for 5 years? Then Jack, without second thought, he said, yes, no problem. I'll teach here for 5 years. And the salary as a teacher for the first year per month was only 10 renminbi. 10 renminbi, 10, okay, 10 renminbi. So 10 renminbi would be, I think, $1, a little bit more than $1, okay, a month, okay. And then after 1 year, somebody approached Jack Ma. Jack, can you work for me? I offer you 100 renminbi a month. At that time, he was earning 10. Okay, so Jack he wanted to move to another company or to move with another school. But because of the promise that he made to the principal, he stayed there. Then the following year, when the market price was already, it's gone up to 1,000, he was still working there at a very low salary. 4th year, still there. 5th year, still there. When he completed 5 years, he left the school. For him, money is important, but his trust level is more important than everything else. That's why if we have this kind of honest manner, we are honest, or we also deliver what we have promised people. We are a trustworthy person. We will be consistent in our character. Okay, so would you trust someone who will really walk the talk, or you just trust someone who will change his mind the next day or the day after tomorrow? Right? So you will know which one that you will go to. Second thing is character communicates potential. What does that mean? So as a leader, we have talent, but having talent is not enough. We have the right character, and our right character is to allow us to develop our people, the potential of our people. That is the 4th level of leadership. Remember that? We need to develop the potential of people by providing them with training and development opportunities. So to have the right character of a leader, we need to develop the potential of our people. So it will give our followers hope for the future. We also promotes a strong belief in themselves and the organization. And lastly would be character communicates respects. If we don't have this character within, we will not earn respect. You cannot ask people to respect you. No, you can only earn your respect. People respect you not because you ask them to do it. It's because they feel that you are respectful. So you earn it and they respect you naturally. Okay, but respect is really important for as a leader. So as a leader, how do we earn respect? The people, why would the people respect you? They will think that, oh, this guy is very smart. He always makes sound decisions. And if he makes any mistakes, he would apologize, admit his mistakes, but not put the blame on his subordinates. Okay, so this leader will admit his own mistakes. And then also put what is best for his followers and the organization ahead of his personal agenda, meaning that put people first. Okay, so if you put people first, people will respect you. If you put people first, you will be able to develop the potential of your followers. If you put people first, you will deliver what you have promised, because people are more important than you, because you care them more. And because of all this, you have become a trustworthy person. Okay, so first trust, and then people will support you. That's the whole thing about the law of solid ground. A leader's good character builds trust among his followers. But when a leader breaks trust, he's not able to lead. That's the law of solid ground. So as a leader, we need to build on our trust. We need to work on our character. since we know that it's so important to be a trustworthy person. When it comes to developing our characters, we can focus on 3 areas: our disciplines, our integrity, that means our trust level, and also be ourselves. Okay, so once we are able to have the right character, our character can help us to have consistency, to develop potentials in our followers, and also earn respect from our people. So question so far, was I too fast? Was I too fast?
No.
Rita,
Yes,
so
Lynn? Yes.
yeah, yes. So can I have some question?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Rita, so this point I'm not quite understand about,
Okay.
like just you are saying that to develop the character we need to have 3 things, in integrity, be ourselves, and discipline.
Yes.
But I I don't understand how to link that 3 point to the character communicate.
Or to character, right? So
Yeah.
why if we develop character, why do we have to work on these 3 areas? Was it your question?
No, I mean that character communication, we need to have like potential respect and consistency in our character.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes.
so this character is like one of the component of the 3 things we need to develop in terms of our character, or 2 of that link together.
Okay. When we mentioned 3 things, that is the integrity, be your self-discipline, right? So
Yep.
when we develop our character, we work on these 3 areas.
Yep.
Okay? So
Yep.
once we have worked on these 3 areas, we will be considered as we have good character. Okay?
Yep.
Once we are able to have good character, then it will also shows, this will be the result, shows our consistency in character, meaning that we walk our talk. That will be the result. We will, because we care about people, right? And so we will develop the potential in our people, and we will also earn our respect. Okay, so that's why character communicates. That means you already had good character, and that would be some of the results that you can see after having a good character. Okay, is that clear?
That's the result.
Yes, because if you're a good character, right, you are a trustworthy person. So you will demonstrate that, okay, I'm trustworthy. I promise you that I will stay with your company for 5 years. I will keep my promise. Okay? And I'm, say for example, be myself, and also I'm a disciplined person. I will also like to do something good for my people. Because I'm disciplined, I know that I need to try my very best to do everything. I also know that as a leader, I need to develop my people. So I will also develop the potential in my followers. And since I have good character, I'm a trustworthy person. I'm not try to pretend to be somebody else. I'm very disciplined. People will trust me. When people give me a job, I would certainly deliver it. Do you think you will earn the respect from the people? That's the result.
Yep.
Of course, they are complementing each other, meaning that if continue performing this result, they will help you to strengthen your character. Understand, right?
Yeah.
The
Understand.
relationship of the whole thing. Develop your characters by focusing on 3 areas. Of course, there are other areas, but according to John Maxwell, these 3 areas can help you a lot in having a good character. Once you have good character, it will demonstrate this result. You will do it naturally, but also help you to make a strong character because you keep on doing it, right? And people are habit of the creature of habits. You keep on doing it, it helps us to form a strong foundation. Helping each other.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, understand. Yeah.
Okay. How about Sylvia? Any questions?
No.
Okay, good. So that I will send you the assignment for today's law of solid ground. I will send it to Kian as well. I will send you the PowerPoint of this one as well, especially to Pian, so that she know what it's about. But if she has any questions, I will always be happy to answer it. And then our next session is in 2 weeks' time. That will be my favorite law of connection. We need to connect with the people first. And among all the laws in this 21, I love this one because, as I mentioned, if you just focus on one law, that will already make a big difference in your life. And for me, I really love that one, law of connection. Okay, so anyway, if you have any questions, just feel free to send it to me. In the meantime, I'll send you the assignment so that we apply it. The most important thing, if we apply it, that will become our knowledge, okay? We apply it, do it in our normal work days and also at home. Because once you have done it, you are also influencing other people. People see you doing it, they will also follow it. Without knowing it, they are following it. You know, people just talk without doing it. It doesn't help. But people just do it without telling them. You're already teaching them. You're already telling them that this is something that you should do, right? So that's why we are changing lives of the people. And this is what we call it. Now we have this session that's very good, and all of us apply it. And then when we are applying it, the other people see it, they do it. And then the people of these people see it, they also do it. So the world is getting better and better. And we have a lot of people having good quality, good character, and also have people who are trustworthy. That is a very beautiful world. Okay, so that's all for today. So I wish you a very, very nice weekend, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Okay?
Yeah, thank you so
Okay,
much.
take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.